And that is how Welsh cake's made. Look at those. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're back in Wales by popular request. Quite a few requests actually. We are making Welsh cakes. Now the Welsh cakes date back to the 19th century. They say they were first made in rural Wales by the housewives that used to use up the bits of dough and fruit. And they were actually griddled or cooked on a bakestone over an open fire. Now that gave them the characteristic crispy outside and soft inside. So we don't have an open fire or a bakestone. I do have a griddle, but it doesn't fit the small cooker. We're going to cook in a non-stick pan. Now it's a straightforward recipe. This is my recipe. Now you can use all butter when we get to the fats. I'm using butter and lard because I think that's what would have been used back then. Okay, in the bowl I've got some self-raising flour. So to the bowl we're going to add our butter, and like I say, I'm using lard. And we are going to give this a rub in. Now I am going to add a little bit of salt, a pinch of salt in there. And we're just going to bring this together. Little fingers and thumbs, bring it together and then lift and roll out. Lift, roll out. Nice and straightforward. Now if you did have a food mixer or food processor like I keep saying on this channel, you would just whiz it up within seconds. But this is not hard work. So that's nice and straightforward. We're just going to chuck some sugar in there. Now I'm going in with about a teaspoon of mixed spice. And there'll be a recipe in the description on how to make it. And we're going in there with our fruit. Now just give that a mix up. Mix all that in there. Now there are variations to making Welsh cakes, but this is fairly standard. So you shouldn't have a problem in having a really nice Welsh cake. You know, there's other recipes that use cinnamon, they use nutmeg. In fact, they use a combination of all of those and mixed spice. I feel that the mixed spice, which has been around for hundreds of years, is enough by itself. Okay, now we want a bit of a well in there. We'll take an egg, we're going to give it a bit of a beating. And that is going in there. And we want a little splash of milk. Now, all we do is bring that together. If it's too dry, we add a little bit more milk. Now we just nice and gently bring this together because we don't want it too wet. We don't want to start adding loads of flour, but obviously if it is too wet, just put a little bit more flour in. And then we're going to go in there with our hand and bring this dough together nice and lightly. We don't really want to be giving it a big squashing. Just basically just bring it together gently. Now I'm feeling that this may be too dry. We will see in a second. No, it could be okay. Now that's actually come together pretty well. So that's our Welsh cake mix. So the next job for this then, I'm going to put a little bit of flour on here, but I'm not going to use much. That'll do. We have to roll our dough. And our dough is quite firm actually. You could probably have done with a little bit more milk, we'll see in a second. Okay, that's about flattened out enough. We're not going to get many from this. You can cut it out with anything. Now I've got some of these tart things. Now if you wanted it just round, cut it out with a glass. Then all we need to be doing is just cutting them out. Now if you haven't got a cutter, use a glass. Now this is just a plastic tub actually. But this is going to make some nice Welsh cakes. Then all we have to do is keep re-rolling until we use it all up. Now they want to be about between half a centimetre and a centimetre and a half thick. The choice is up to you, but you know, when it comes down to cooking, if they're too thick, they're going to be burnt on the outside and raw in the middle. Okay, next job then, we got to get a pan on. Now like I said, I don't have a griddle and I don't have an open bake fire to bake on the bakestone, so we're going to use a non-stick pan. However, we are going to rub some butter round that pan. A little bit of butter, and that's going to give us that little bit of a crisp on the outside of our Welsh cakes. So on with your flame. Now we need to heat up the pan, but we do not want the pan scorching. And then all we do is we put our Welsh cakes in the pan. Now I haven't made very big thick ones because we are cooking in a pan. Now I'm going to turn these 2 times actually. So we're going to flip them over and then I'm going to turn them again. That is your choice, you don't have to. But I want to make sure that my centre is cooked nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to flip these again. I always flip a couple of times, you know, that is entirely up to you. But I want that centre inside there cooked through. And then when you feel like you've cooked them enough, and these look fantastic, you just take them out and carry on with the rest. Just smear that little bit of butter around there again. You don't have to go too bananas, we just want a little bit of butter greasing on that pan. And then in with your Welsh cakes. And then all you do then is sprinkle a little bit of sugar. and get your cakes on there. Now you can go as much sugar as you want, that's up to you. And that is how Welsh cake's made. Look at those. Oh, look at that. That is fantastic. Oh. That is incredible. That is really light, fluffy inside. Nice little bit of a crunch on the outside actually from the pastry. That is superb. That is absolutely delicious. That is Welsh cakes made. Now if you like what we're doing, don't forget, smash that like and subscribe, share with your friends, all that kind of stuff. Catch you in the next video.